Hi everyone, this is Miranda Rodriguez, and I will be talking about Reverie by John William Godward today. Throughout this video, you'll hear a couple of different scores from a few different artists. One of them will be Arabesque number 1. The composer is Claude Debussy. And the second will be Six Consolations, session 172, number 3 in D flat, by Franz Liszt. So I will label those for you, but in the meantime, here's what we got going on. So the work of art I chose to describe, as I just mentioned, is John William Godward's Reverie, which belongs to the permanent collection of the J. Paul Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California. The painting itself is 23 inches by 29 inches, which I would say is large enough to fill a blank space on a wall in a regular home. Otherwise, within the grand scheme of artwork, it is a medium-sized work. The medium used for this painting is oil on canvas, which has long been popular by the time that John William Godward created Reverie and in similar works in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This particular painting was made in 1904, however, true to the neoclassicist movement, it is meant to conjure feelings of antiquity. John William Godward was one of the last neoclassical artists, as bigger names and newer movements like that of Picasso became increasingly popular. The subject in this painting is a beautiful young woman in the center. She is seated on a smooth white marble structure as well as an animal skin. Her dress is Diaphanous, which is not true to the era, yet the style of dress itself otherwise is consistent with ancient Roman clothing. Her mood is leisurely and dreamlike, and she casts her glance softly toward the viewer. This work, while belonging to the neoclassical movement, has a photographic realism quality to it. The meticulous details in the fur that the subject is seated upon, as well as the marble structure, brings the painting to life. Just give you a close-up view of the fur as well as the marble here. You can see, how much detail there is in this statue. There are very few dark areas within the painting besides the subject's shadow, yet even with most of the painting exposed, it appears that the Rembrandt technique may have been used to create a specific lighting situation, thus the Rembrandt triangle present on her right-facing cheek. This is normally a term used when talking about photography, but seeing that this painting existed when camera portraiture was becoming more popular, it seems plausible. Foreshortening is present in the subject's legs, one crossed over the other, creating dimension within the painting. This, coupled with a linear perspective, the viewer can look beyond the main subject and appreciate the ancient Mediterranean landscape. The mountains at the horizon are small, creating the illusion of space. The immense detail of the animal fur in the painting looks so realistic that it looks as though the viewer could reach out and feel the individual fibers. The veined marble structure is so smooth that the viewer can almost imagine it being cool to the touch. These details speak to the aestheticism that Godward adhered to throughout his works, lending to the photorealistic quality. The palette of colors used are cheerful, yet do not at any point overwhelm the painting, lending to the dreamlike mood. These are areas that the painting can be credited for with certainty. What seems to be lacking is a particular narrative or message, which is something Godward was ultimately criticized for. I decided that since neoclassicism was not limited to paintings, that my two complementary mediums were the scores that I played during this video. The neoclassical and romantic era of music existed from the 18th century to the early 20th century, and both of these scores I feel meld with the laid-back tone portrayed in Reverie. The first, again, like I said, was Arabesque number 1 by Claude Debrassy, and the second is Six Consolations, session 172, number 3. And both of these pieces came across as relaxed versus melancholic or euphoric, so I thought they went well with the painting. Additionally, thought that it was interesting to learn that neoclassicism music is what we think of today as classical music. Alright guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.